Okay, in this video we're going to do a couple of things. I bought some mud flaps to install, and it's quite a bit to it. Anyway, it's such a tight gap in here that I decided to remove the tire. But I'm going to need to remove the tire anyway because I need to install the shock bump stops. You see, here's the old one that I took out, seeing as how it's not even there, just the base pieces there. So anyway, I discovered that the one on this side was missing, so I'm going to replace it. And bump stops are interesting. It's one of those safety things that you really don't ever want to use. So, but anyway, if you don't have one there, like this, your suspension can bottom out and do some damage. You'll get metal-to-metal contact with the parts that can flex and move around, where this will bump up against a plate. You'll see the plate when I install this, and hopefully will prevent damage. Now, if it does go full travel and hit the bump stop, you already are in deep trouble. So, you know, whether you hit a pothole or something else, ran off the road, whatever caused the suspension to go to full travel, you may need an alignment afterwards. So I'm going to pull the wheel off here. I'm going to install the mud flaps and the this is called a shock bump stop. Alright, I'm checking the one I took off. The M8x125 seems to be screwing on there okay, so maybe it's just some corrosion. I'll run my tap through the old nut that was on there. Maybe I'll look and see if I have a new one. Anyway, just be sure and double check everything. So we're back on here, and you can see it's just quite a bit of corrosion on there. You can see the pieces of metal that came out of there. So, alright, I'll be able to reuse the hardware, but if I find one that's nicer, cleaner, new one in my bin, I'll probably use that. Much better. Okay, we're ready to remove the wheel, and I haven't figured out where I got these from. But they're M14 by 1.5. They're nice in that, you know, it has a knurled end to screw it in if it gets stuck a little bit. And you can even put an Allen wrench in there if it really gets stuck, because I've had these lug bolts get corroded and they were very difficult to put in. So anyway, so what these do is these help remove the wheel, because these are lug bolts, not lug nuts. So I'll pull the lug bolts out, screw these in, and the tire will be easier to take off and put on. So I didn't record all the noise I made with my ratchet. Makes life a whole lot easier to take that wheel off with those studs there, because they have lug bolts, not lug nuts. And I can't remember, probably all European cars, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, VW, Volvo, they all have lug bolts. And then most American cars, Ford, GM, and everything, they have the studs in there, and you put your lug nuts on there, and if they become ruined, you just drive them out. Anyway, let's get on to the bump stop replacement. Okay, there's where I took the old one out, and I'll zoom in a little bit. I'm going to clean this plate off here. A little bit of rust, it's really not bad. And then I'll install the new one, so let me get my wire brush. Alright, I'll just get my wire brush and move some dirt around, I guess. Iron oxide. So I'll clean that up and install the new one. Alright, I know I'm going on a little bit with the bump stop, but anyway, it goes on this way. You see there's an alignment tab. The bolt's going to go underneath here. So anyway, it goes on here, and it's going to hit up here, if we bottom out the suspension, and that keeps a lot of these metal parts from impacting, keeps from ruining your strut. So anyway, that's what it's all about. It'll go in here like this. Hopefully I can fit it in place. It seems to be giving me a little trouble. Let me work that in, and then I will bolt it down. Okay, it was just a really tight fit, so no big deal. Just kind of drove it in place a little bit. Put the nut back on, and we'll move on to the mud flaps. I'll just tighten this down, get it good and tight, and I'll show you what's going on with the mud flaps. Okay, first of all, these are genuine Volvo parts. Note there's a right hand and a left hand, so we're going to put the right hand on the right hand side, which is in America the passenger side. So that's going to go on, and you also want to note the front and rear. So the front and rear are different, and the reason I'm going to go and print out the installation instructions from the Volvo website because these are rivets in here. Now they could be factory, could be repair. We bought it used. We're like the third owner. Might have been a rental at first. Anyway, I'm going to either widen that hole open or drill them out completely. Either way, I'm going to drill into the rivets and put the screws in to hold the mud flap. So let me go print out the instructions, see what that says. Alright, you can go on to Volvo's website and print out the instructions for the mud flaps. The rear and front are separate, so you're going to need a copy of the front and a copy of the rear. Now this is the front instruction sheet, but anyway, what I'm showing you on both of them is that they are in fact rivets. So I'm going to see what I can do. I might just drill out the center of the rivet and then screw it in place, because these came with screws. And also the rear only has 3 places. The front has, oops. The front has 4 places. So we'll just see. Okay, well now it's finding out that the rivets are metal, not plastic. I thought they'd be plastic and I would be able to drill a hole in there and then screw into the plastic and be done with it. But they're metal rivets, so I'm having fun drilling them out. I was drilling the center. They're loose and spinning around, so I'm having all kinds of fun doing that. So let me keep working on those and get them out. Alright, just to let you know, I am not having fun removing these rivets, so anyway, let me get back to having no fun again and get the other 2 out. Yeah, I broke my bit, but I used it anyway. Alright, what a mess, and now the hole's too big for the screw, so I'm just gonna rivet them in there. Okay, I got my handy dandy little Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh, whatever, tool to rivet these in. As you can see, I got the first one in to hold it in place, and now for the other 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, we're done. Oh, that one looks a little loose to me. Let me try that again. Let me see if I can get that one more better. There we go. Alright, with my new shock bump start and mud flaps in place, I'm going to go and do the other side. And as far as you're concerned, we are done with the video. So, thank you for watching.